9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another. Hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Latino Diaspora. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching the channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Latina Diaspora because we discuss issues pertaining to Latinos in the United States. Of course, I have my main YouTube channel, which is called Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, because what we do is we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube and Facebook. Also, the subscriber mode has been enabled. So, first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who've already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a supporter from the very beginning or just recently joined, I really appreciate your love and continued support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices, as well as those who follow me on social media, and those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So what I will I'll ask you to do, if you have not done so already, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notifications to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you'll have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. So as you can see on the thumbnail, the topic for tonight, the world of Latino cultures. I'm just going to share certain elements that makes our culture very unique. Before we get into the main topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. First of all, what I would like to do is give a huge shout out to the New York Knicks, okay? They have reached the finals of the NBA for the first time since 1999. So they defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference Final 4-0. So basically, they swept the Cavaliers. And quite a few people did not see this happening. Some people didn't think that the Knicks were able to do as well as they did. But as you know, as some people say, the proof is in the pudding. And just to give you an idea, how long has it been since the Knicks won the NBA championship? It was way back in 1973. So just to put it into some sort of perspective, that's when Richard Nixon was president. Okay. And I was a child of 10 years old. So we're talking about a very long championship drought, which the Knicks have a chance to end, depending who's going to be the Western Conference Championship. So it should be interesting to see how the NBA Finals will develop. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't follow basketball all that much. But I think it's going to be an exciting championship series. And it may go to 7 games. We won't know until the games begin. So a huge shout out to the New York Knicks. Okay. And with that being said, we're going to go to the main topic. Now, before I continue, let me just state for the record that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to hit that link and opine regarding the topic at hand, they may do so. As I always state every time I go live, if I never seen you before, if I never heard from you before, I will insist that you camp up in the backstage to make sure that no one tries to flash any adult content, which will cause the people of YouTube to take down their stream. Once I determine that you're not going to try any of those shenanigans, then I'm going to let you on the panel. I'm not going to be on that long, maybe another 20 minutes or so. Okay? But let me just share with you something to consider. When it comes to Latino culture, it encompasses the rich, diverse traditions, languages, and histories of people across the Americas with roots in Latin America and the Caribbean. It is a vibrant blend of indigenous, African, and European influences defined by a strong family bond, deep musical traditions, and complex multi-layered identities. Now, of course, whether you are a Latino from the Caribbean, or a Latino from South America, or a Latino from Central America, there are certain things that are common. Okay, one of them, of course, is language, mainly Spanish. Also, another thing that's there is that there is a strong Catholic influence. One thing we have to bear in mind that at one time we were under Spanish control, and of course, Spain, the main religion is Catholicism. So even among those who embraces Christianity in other denominations, there is of course a strong Catholic influence. So let me just share with you some core values. Okay. The first one is it's called Feminissimo, which is a strong moral obligation, attachment, and loyalty to one nuclear and extended family. It extends to wider community and emphasizes close relationship and mutual respect. Okay. So it's very common when we think of family, we're not just thinking of course, the parents. We're also thinking of our siblings, and of course we have what's called the extended family: uncles, aunts, cousins, and grandparents. And I remember growing up as a child in the late 60s and the 70s. Frequently we had visitors from our extended family, whether it be uncles, cousins, aunts, grandparents, and things of that nature. And of course, we have our own unique way of showing respect, which I will discuss briefly. And of course, whenever the family got together, it was a time of celebration. It was a time for dancing. It was a time for breaking bread. It was a time for fellowship. That's something that I enjoyed growing up as a child in the 70s. And even though I did not grow up speaking Spanish, I had several cousins and even uncles that spoke English, so I was able to communicate with them. And of course, there was a very close bond that existed between us and our siblings and our extended family members. Another core value is hospitality and warmth. Latino culture is often highly relationship and contact oriented. Greetings often involve physical closeness, like besos or abrazos, and hospitality toward guests as a celebrated hallmark. One thing about Latinos, us Latinos, for the most part, um, we are an affectionate people. We are a caring people. We are a loving people, and this is particularly true. For example, whenever I we greet members of our union family who are Latino. I mean, this we always we always hug each other. We always give like a little sisterly kiss in the cheek. Uh, where we tend to be very warm blooded and affectionate towards each other. And the same thing applies when it comes to our extended family. Another thing, a core value is respect. High value is placed in honoring elders, observing good manners, and respecting authority. Okay. So of course, growing up as a child, when it became interaction with my parents, my grandparents, my uncles and aunts, um, we never say hi mom, hi dad, or hi uncle, or aunt, or grandma. We always said bendición, which means blessing. And then they, in turn, will respond, que Dios te bendiga, may God bless you. Okay. And one thing, as I stated at the beginning, there is a strong Catholic influence, even among those who do not practice Catholicism, even among those who consider to be agnostic or atheist. That Catholic influence was always there. Okay, and of course we was always taught. Okay, particularly when we were children, you show proper respect towards your elders. Okay, whether it be your own parents, whether it be your uncles and aunts or grandparents. Okay, and then the nephews and nieces, many of them were also taught to show the proper respect towards my siblings. Um, Many of them still have the custom, even though Their Spanish may not be very fluent, or they may not know a great deal of Spanish. They will still say to us, petición Dio, or petición Diti. And of course, we will respond, que Dios te bendiga. And in fact, just to give you, just to highlight that note, even with my dear friend Denise Gonzalez, who I happen to refer to her as my cyber daughter. She will always address me petición. And of course, I will respond, que Dios te bendiga, because there is a great deal of mutual love and mutual respect between me and Denise. And of course, some of the younger people, they don't address their elders that way. Some of them will say, "Hi, mom," "Hi, dad," and I remember when my mother, God rest her soul, was alive. One of my nephews, I actually addressed my mother as, "Hi, grandma," and my mother looked a little bit perplexed because they didn't address her the way we did. I think part of it has to do with the fact that when you are a Latino in the second or the third generation, sometimes some of those customs and beliefs that we hold dear are not always present with them. So I don't think my nephew did that out of lack of respect. I think it's part of it. It's just that some of those customs didn't always get filtered down to them. So, and generally, this is my thing, of me anyway. If you want to say petición, that's fine. If not, I'm not even going to get upset. Some of my nieces don't say petición to me. I don't get upset. I mean, because I understand that there are people that are more, how can I say, Americanized than others. So I understand that. And of course, one thing that we do bear in mind, music and dance is very active in our culture. Whether it be in the Caribbean, or whether it be in South America, or whether it be in Central America. Now, I have the blessing to travel to both Colombia and Panama and Mexico. And one thing I noticed is the type of typical dance that they did in Panama and in Colombia, when they have these long, wide skirts and things like that, and the way that they move around so gracefully. I mean, it really showed that it took a lot of time and energy to practice those movements, and the fact that they move so gracefully, it was really inspiring to me. That was one of the highlights regarding my trips to both Colombia and Panama. Now, music is essential to social life, ranging from salsa and bachata to mariachi and reggaeton. These art forms carry deep historical roots and have a massive global influence. Okay. And of course, there's different types of music. Like there is bachata, there's salsa, there's reggaeton, and there's also cumbia that I discovered when I was in Colombia. Okay. And also folk traditions. Regional dances and celebrations are highly preserved, linking communities to their indigenous and African ancestors. One thing you will see um, is regardless whether it is from the Caribbean or whether it be from South America or whether it be Central America, regional dances, okay, and all of them in their various um, native costumes. And of course, one thing that makes us very unique is the food and culinary traditions. Okay. And of course, in various different countries, there's certain food staples, such as corn, beans, rice, and various meats form the base of most diets. But regional dishes vary significantly, from the Caribbean arepas to Mexican tamales and Peruvian ceviche, which is basically some sort of a salad. And of course, whenever there is holidays, uh, food plays a major part. Okay, one thing about um, whenever there is a holiday celebration, there's going to be a feast, and there's going to be a feast, and you will get the an opportunity to enjoy all different types of food. Okay. So if you've never had the opportunity to participate in a holiday meal with a Latino family, do so. Make sure you get invited though. Now, food is making is a communal activity. Signature holiday dishes such as halacas, halacas in Venezuela or pozole in Mexico are deeply tied to cultural identity. Okay. And of course, there are other dishes such as pasteles, empanadas, and things of that nature. And of course, there are certain celebrations that are unique um, to different cultures. Like, for example, in Mexico, they have a day called El Dia de los Muertos, which is the Day of the Dead. Um, it is widely celebration and tradition um, in Mexican and Central American communities to honor and welcome back the spirits of the deceased loved ones. Okay. I have never participated in such activities. It's a little, I find it a little, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I find it a little bizarre, but I understand that for those culture, it's a big thing. And of course, when it comes to Christmas time, they have what's called La Posadas. Okay. Now, this winter holiday season is marked by deeply communal, religious, and social activities that center around family and feasts, and of course around They have the parandas, which is basically um, gatherings when people play music before the Christmas holiday. Okay, and just to let everybody know, we're talking about the world of Latino culture. And of course, here in New York, as well as cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Houston, Dallas, uh, and many cities in Florida, and cities in Massachusetts, Chicago. There are many Latino communities. And of course, here in New York City, we have a strong influence community when it comes to Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, and other South American groups. Okay. So so that's kind of like a little bit of a flavor. Of course, I if I wanted um, to elaborate further, I just wanted to share like a little bit, like a snippet. Uh, Maybe sometime in the future, I'll delve more into it, maybe into a series. I just want to give you like a little bit of an idea when it comes to some elements regarding our culture. Okay. Now, just to let you know, I will be live on my main channel tomorrow night. Okay, now I was planning to go live on Thursday, but I have a social engagement, so I will be going live tomorrow on my main channel. And the topic will be learning from our failures. Okay? And the reason why I'm discussing it is that there will become times that we will not succeed in our visions, our goals, our desires. So I will be discussing. Good evening, DT Juju. Thank you very much for stopping by. And let me just let you know that my friend DT Juju has her YouTube channel where she shares many interesting topics. So I'm good. Of course, as always, I do encourage you to check out her content, subscribe, and she tends to go live in the evening. So make sure that you set the bell notifications too. Whenever she does produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it from the playback, depending what your schedule is. Okay. So I was just sharing some different things about Latino culture. I'm not going to get into a long discussion. I'll probably devote more time to it later on. I might do it in a series because, as you all know, we have many different cultures. I mean, as far as like Dominicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Central America, South America. So you are quite welcome. Okay. Hopefully my audio is okay. I've been trying to fix it, and hopefully I am not lagging. So, but you're quite welcome. So, as I stated, tomorrow night on my main channel, I will be talking about learning from our failures. Okay, and but we're gonna have moments where we're not going to succeed for whatever reason. Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, I've been trying to fix this for quite a while, so thank you very much. I'm using a different laptop. Okay, now I have two laptops. I have one laptop that I use when I work remotely, and I have another laptop. This is kind of like my backup laptop. So I'm glad to see that that my audio is much better. So in any case, I will start to wrap it up a little bit. Um, Lately, I've not gone on long. Maybe I might try to do a live for about an hour. It's just I try to keep it. I try to keep it short and to the point, because I do know that people have busy schedules, and sometimes people don't have the time and energy to listen to a whole live. So I try to keep it short and to the point. But in any case, I do appreciate all who catch it live or catch it on the playback. I will be live tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Okay. And of course, if you have not done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and make sure you set the bell notifications to all. And of course, I'm going to close the same way that I always close. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we'll be infected by the stupidity and massive insanity. And of course, whatever we say and do, we should do for the glory of God. And with that being said, I'll be back next week with something else to discuss. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your indulgence. Thank you very much for your patience. And I'll see you next time. Stay blessed and peace. Good night, DD.
Be strong.